Here we are with Coach Justin Price. Coach, a tough loss last week again for the Cougars at Central.
Yeah, obviously we didn't play up to the standard that we want to. You know, we've worked very hard over the last several years to change the culture and raise the level of play of Campbell County football. And Friday, at times, we did it. We just weren't very consistent. And against a team like Central, who's kind of been in the same process we were a couple of years ago, where now they have a bunch of seniors that have played for 3 or 4 years, and you can't make those mistakes because they exploit you pretty quick.
And you know, you came out in the first half, and it was just about all run, and that's typically not a Justin Price offense. But in the second half, you came out passing, and you done pretty good.
Yeah, you know, this was Josh's first week as our quarterback, and anytime you change quarterbacks, sometimes I feel like when you go from a guy like Zach Rutherford to Josh Lay, your identity changes a little bit. We want to try to keep the core the same as much as possible, but in the first half, we wanted to establish a little bit more of a run game.
Right.
And we did some good things. We drove down inside the 5-yard line once. Obviously, didn't come away with any points. Defense gave a touchdown, you know. So we missed some opportunities early on. But in the second half, you know, Josh is a good thrower, and you know, his ability to run and throw is what we got to capitalize on. So that's going to be who we are as long as Josh Lay's our quarterback. And I thought in the second half, our ability to run and throw enabled us to move the football. And, you know, we were inside I think the 34 times and didn't come away with any points. And that's something we got to get fixed.
When I did the blitz bother you guys a lot in the second half as you got closer into their territory? They blitzed a lot more, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. You know, they would go man-to-man coverage and bring a little bit. And, you know, I think a couple of it was receivers maybe not breaking their route earlier, or Josh not throwing the ball quick enough. And, you know, we had a couple screens set up that probably would have been big plays for us, and we just didn't execute them. But it's something that these young guys are going to keep getting better and better at. And unfortunately, those 2 games were non-region games, and you know, I think the region games are so important in the new playoff system. So we're going to hopefully get those corrected this week.
And you know, Coach, I was going to say, you know, Josh saw that last week now, and he'll be more familiar with the looks he's going to see this week, won't he? And with the receivers as well.
Yeah, you know, Josh is, you know, coming into his own in our offense. This will be his second full week as our quarterback, and our receivers kind of getting used to what we're going to call with him as opposed to when Zach was in there. So Josh's ability to do the things he does is very impressive. We're going to take advantage of that as much as we can. Obviously, offensive line we got lost Daniel Eden, who's a senior, got hurt, so we had 2 sophomores starting in the offensive line that did some good things. Not very consistent, but those guys are going to keep getting better, and so we're gonna just keep doing what we do and identify where we're weak at, and we got to find a way to correct those and make them our strengths.
Well, you know, Coach, the process stays the same, doesn't it? I mean, when you first came here, you told me it's not about winning and losing per se, but it's how we work. It's our work ethic, and it's how we do things.
Yeah, you know, we believe in hard work. We believe in the process of what we're doing. You know, we've been here before where we didn't play our best. We know what it takes to handle adversity, to improve your program. And, you know, obviously, you know, I think it's good and bad when you have high expectations or you change the culture where people expect you to win every time you play. That's something we wanted. You know, we wanted that when our fans came to the games expecting us to win. And, you know, we've been short 2 weeks in a row. Obviously, against Gibbs, a couple plays away, maybe a yard away. Against Central, you know, a little bit longer, more work to do in that game. But I think that I think those high expectations, we embrace them. But we've got to get guys playing at that standard more consistently. And I think the more experience they get, the more they'll do that.
Right. Now, you got Lenore City coming up this week, a game that you probably should win at home. But now, what do you expect out of them?
We don't know much about them. We've not played them, so it's a first-time experience with them, which is very exciting. Obviously, it's the first region game, and that's such an important part of who we are.
One you got to have.
You know, these are the games that mean a lot. They're almost like a playoff game to start with. So we gotta be prepared. They're very big up front. We've got a lot of seniors up there. Those guys are big and physical. So we're gonna have to control the line of scrimmage on offense and defense. And then in the secondary, we got to be able to take what they give us. You know, if they're giving us some easy throws, Josh has got to make those throws. Receivers got to make the catches, and so it's going to be a fun experience. The best thing about it is we get to play them at home. You know, we've been tough at home. That's where we've won, I guess, 10 of our last 11 now. And
oh yeah, I'd hate to see your win percentage at home. I mean, it's astronomical.
Yeah, you know, we're excited to be back, and just excited about our kids. You know, you kind of see them when they come to practice Monday. You know, obviously they're disappointed that things didn't work out the way we wanted to, but you kind of see them starting to figuring everything out, what this is all about. And so, you know, we're still not defined by the scoreboard. We never will be. But we are going to be defined by the way that we play and the standard that we play. And I thought at times we did that, and at times we didn't. So we got to keep working on that execution level.
Of course, now besides a guy on the offensive line and of course a quarterback, who anybody else hurt going into this game?
That's part of football. You know, we've been blessed the last couple of years not to have any major injuries. Right now, you know, yesterday at practice, you know, we had Zach Rutherford, who was over there on crutches, Jacob Bunch, who just got off his crutches, Patrick Strunk's on crutches, and all three of those guys were starters. You know, they start quarterback, only returning receiver. Patrick Strunk's going to start tailback, and then Seth Roberts was, had a high ankle sprain last week against Central, didn't get to play much in the second half. We're expected to have him back this week, but you know, you look over there and you see 4 or 5 of your top talent kids. It's hard, but at the same time, we've had a lot of guys step up that have really taken on those roles and improved tremendously.
Well, you know, Coach, and that's the beauty of it. Like this Friday night, of course, you never know which one of those guys is going to step up.
Yeah, you never do. You know, I think a couple years ago, guys like Joseph Elkins, who came out of nowhere and
stepped up.
Yeah, and sometimes it just takes that shot of confidence. You know, I think our kids have confidence. You know, I know our coaches believe in them.
Right.
We think that we wouldn't
they
have
wouldn't be wearing a
anybody
uniform
else
if you didn't.
Yeah, and so it's just a matter of those guys making that one or two plays to kind of get this thing rolling. And we're not far off. You know, we watched the film, and you know, our kids are playing with great effort.
Yeah.
And that's something that in the end, if you play with great effort and you play hard, good things are going to happen to you.
Of course, now, Coach, I've got to get your thoughts on, you know, the last week's game. It seemed like Central wanted to score 100, but your defense done a great job of not allowing. And 28-0 is a respectable score.
Yeah, you know, our defense, you know, when the game's been going, we've only given up 3 touchdowns in 2 games. We've had 2 block punts, and then Central scored one with about 10, 15 seconds to go in the game. But you know, when we've had our first team defense out there, you know, they've only given up 21 points in 2 games. So that's something we're very proud of. Obviously, we've
and those are winnable games because that's 12.5 points. Well,
exactly.
Less than 12 points.
Yeah, you know, and that's something that we feel we're confident in our defense. We knew that, but offensively, we put our defense in some binds early on in the season. But you know, mainly we feel like we've got some things corrected on our punt team. To have 2 punts blocked return for touchdowns in consecutive games is unacceptable.
Right.
And that's something that we work very hard as a staff and as a unit to get that fixed. So we feel a lot more confident going into week 3 on our punt team. And then defensively, you know, they just got to keep playing. We have had a couple busted coverages.
They got to keep their standards the same.
Exactly. And we had a couple busted coverages that we got to eliminate. But again, you're talking about first-year starters right there. And you know, we're not young we're not playing freshmen and sophomores. We're playing sophomores and juniors, but we're young when it comes to experience, and that takes a little time, especially when you don't have, you know, outside of Austin Range right now, we don't have another senior that's really played and been there. You know, they're all first-year players.
In those games.
And, you know, even if a couple years ago when we had Bailey and all them, we didn't have a big senior class, but you had about 6 or 7 guys that have been there and done it, and they led our team. They made sure everybody was playing up to that standard.
Right.
And that's something over time we just got to keep working on, and it'll happen.
Well, now, Coach, one more question. Talk about again how important it is for your guys to come out of the locker room and look up there in the stands and see the whole place packed with Cougar fans.
Yeah, you know, based on our game against Gibbs, it was one of the top 5 attendance we've had in the last couple of years, and and our kids played hard. You know, also we didn't get the outcome that everybody wanted, but you know, we've created a home field advantage. And
it's like you said, a couple of plays here and there, and you could have won 14 or whatever, 12.
Because these kids work hard, and you know, our coaching staff believes in them. They believe in each other, we just got to make sure that our fans keep believing.
Right.
You know, we've worked hard to
Not give up.
and we've worked hard to create that culture where people expect us to win, and we expect to win.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, these kids work hard. They deserve to have a big crowd out there, and there's no doubt in my mind that we will.
Alrighty. Okay, fans, so this Friday night they take on Lenore City, and get out there early and support the Cougars. For Justin Price, I'm David Graham. We'll see you later.